All right, I want to welcome everyone to the Kayak Fishing Raw podcast, and today is a special day.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah. Is it not? We have Spencer from one of our main sponsors, Nautical Ventures, here with us.
Indeed, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And I have known Spencer for a very long time, since 2010.
Yeah, quite a while, absolutely.
Yeah, when you didn't have a beard.
No, and I'm actually, I got to be honest with you, I know this is my first time here, but I was kind of sold a bill of goods I'm pretty upset about. Okay. I was waiting for my personal room.
Right.
I was told it was hair and makeup. And I was promised a bag of money, and this was going to make me famous. And I'm not sure you're going to be able to deliver there, Joseph.
Well, the green room is the parking lot. You know,
I keep telling Spence.
Your own vehicle is your green room.
That's where you get it done?
Yeah.
Well, I keep telling Spence, you know, I have a mini bottle of vodka in the truck.
No, so Joe keeps telling me he has a problem, and this is how we are unraveling that whole scenario right now.
Well, I did start, like, molding clay and stuff that helped me with some of my stress.
Is that a true story?
Fred, did I not make you a little mug with hearts?
Pottery? He made Maria.
I saw this. He had the M on the bottom. I saw that podcast. Yeah.
Well, M could be many things.
What about MB?
That's a very specific.
Right.
My boy.
Is that what it was?
My boy.
See?
All right. So you're playing with clay.
Also, that was a long ass time ago because you've been married for what, 6 years? And it had her maiden name on it. So
that's how long ago you made that?
Yeah, and now he's claiming that he's been
into pottery,
tinkering with pottery.
So I am curious though. How does a guy of your repertoire get into pottery?
You see, what happens is you have all these hobbies, right? And as your stress goes up, you do more events, you change it up, anglers, the whole spiel, right, of what I do.
Of course.
A hobby gets old pretty quick because you get the hobby to get like that high of excitement and not think about stuff that stresses you out.
Sure. What he's trying to say is he's a quitter.
He gives up on the hobby. As soon as it becomes difficult, I move on to something else because I realize I'm not that good at it. Fair enough.
Pottery was, was calling my name. And
do you like go to a class? Do you have a furnace in your house? How does that work?
No, you go to a class and.
Are there any other males in this class?
No,
just you.
I have a lovely teacher, and she
female
says,
as well.
She says I'm very talented.
Is she over the age of 60?
Close.
How many massages were involved for her to tell you that you're talented?
And how many of the people there are in your age bracket by 10 years?
None.
I mean, I would say like the average age there is probably like 55 to.
Gotcha. So what drove you to this hobby?
But it makes me the most popular guy in the class.
Of course it does, because you're going in a tank top with a 6-year-old woman. I mean, I get it.
It jumps from like 8 to 12-year-olds to 65-year-olds.
What are we talking about? Right?
Children or old people, and then Joe in the middle.
Yeah, but it's cool because I get to walk into class and they all look at me and they're like, "Man, you're so young."
Of course you are.
It feels good to
teach a young guy.
To be that young guy in the room.
Do they? I know this is random, and I'm sure it does or doesn't happen, but I got to know, do they like oil you up before you actually get into something?
It's more like a hand massage.
Do they? Oh,
so there's exercises, right?
Sincerely,
with your hands.
Is this you warming up?
Yes, this is me.
Is there a warm up for this class?
Yeah,
for this fake sport?
Open, close. Okay.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Like this. Up and down. Okay. Just like that.
I was solid.
Left and right.
So
just like that.
Oh. Jesus.
Okay, so these help you.
I feel like he's making this up.
No, these help you create, your masterpiece.
Don't lie, dude. You didn't warm up. You probably pulled a hamstring.
Yeah, I know.
That was probably the worst day of my life when I pulled my hamstring.
He pulled a hamstring warming up for flag football.
That's not true. First play,
no.
I was hit the wrong way. I still played the game. I scored 5 touchdowns, and I actually carried one of the guys off the field that needed help.
Well, first off, you're playing children, so that doesn't count. And when they're 12 and under, it's still mean to score on them.
No, dude.
That was actually the worst day of my life, though, pulling that hamstring. It was literally black. My ass was black.
The only shoes
I've done it. I've actually partially torn them, and it's gnarly.
I threw up.
The only shoes he had were, imagine like some Sperry dock shoes, like boat shoes.
Well, they were skater shoes, sir.
That were
skater
like
shoes. Is that another hobby? Come on now.
They were in the like casual wear shoe, and it was like a leather upper with like a plastic sole, and like that's what he wore to someone's wedding.
Why does Fred always have to be there when I fuck up?
First off, let me say, I actually feel bad because you brought me on here and all I've done is collectively tear you down since I've arrived. So I'm sorry for that. But you know what I was thinking about on the way over, which is completely off topic and unrelated, but I'm just going to go with it, is it, as you're like setting this up and doing stuff, this is actually true. You'll appreciate this. This is well-rounded and dynamic.
Right.
I was thinking that, every generation is the last generation for something.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so we are the last generation. This is true, right? We're the last generation that knows what life was like before cell phones. And what kind of triggered me on this, is that as I'm driving over here, and how do you get directions for anywhere now? Do you pull a map out? Do you get reference on a notepad, take a left at the railroad tracks? No, you put it in your GPS, it takes you right there.
Yep.
And I was like, man, I remember, I'm that old. I'm not. Just so we're clear, Joe's older than me.
That's not true.
So, but I remember whenever you had, classic directions. It'd be like, hey, here's how you get here, or, you had a map or whatever. Or let's say you went to school and, I don't know, you didn't have a cell phone for texting and Instagram and all that. And I think it's really kind of cool, and I know this has nothing to do with fishing, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But I think it's really cool that we are the last generation that's ever going to know what life was like before that, because every kid now, of course, is inundated from birth with a cell phone attached to their hip. And they will never know what it's like to not text, have Instagram, have Facebook, be immediately connect to everybody, to Google your answers. Whenever you were a kid and you asked a question, who'd you believe? Whatever your parents said, right? That was they could tell you the world was flat. You'd be like, well, Dad said it, it's true. Now there's some smart ass kids out there.
I go hit those encyclopedias.
Hold on. Let me go. No, you're wrong.
Yeah, that's me right now.
It's kind of an interesting.
I go hit those encyclodias, bro.
Oh, you're that guy?
Yeah, I would.
That guy.
100%.
Yeah.
So that was my random fleeting thought.
That you're absolutely right. And you know what's really weird? So I took an art class, right? We used to all have to take an art class, right? And in art class, you would have to draw something or whatever, right? With crayons or a pen or whatever. Now, I don't know if you know this, but these kids in these art classes have tablets. And they're drawing on tablets.
Jesus.
I mean, think about that. How different school was for our kind of generation, our age group.
Sure.
It's totally different. Maria and I are already having conversations on our girl, our little girl, with a cell phone. When do you get a cell phone?
Are you gonna be the iPad parents?
Immediately.
Well, that's the thing, though.
As soon as possible.
Well, you'd have to know where they are and all that stuff. I get it.
My daughter was 3. She learned how to read on her iPhone and her iPad.
Really?
Literally can read, no issues reading.
Yeah. The kids that came from Germany.
She went to kindergarten being able to read.
Well, Maria's nephews that came from Germany both had cell phones. One was 8, one was 10.
Read like ninjas.
Oh my God!
Text like ninjas. My little boy, dude. My little boy's 9, buddy. Text.
Yeah, the 12, a 12-year-old. You don't even have to look at the phone.
Communicate like a crazy person.
It's unbelievable.
And if they don't, dude, they're going to be 15 years behind when they get to first grade.
Well, that's a fact. Now it's
you're going to be the slow kid.
Yeah.
You're going to be the slow kid. Your kids are going to be retarded if you don't let them have a cell phone.
But the question is, do those kids? Because I never asked.
That's the only thing holding back. All right, got it.
Well, no.
But do those kids have full range with the phone? What I'm trying to say is, can they go online
and pipe porn into their phone at 18? Or can you imagine if you're 15 with unlimited access to porn on your phone? That's scary. Thank God it was Dad's dusty book that was in the top shelf that you were embarrassed to go find.
What if it's the opposite? Those kids who always have. I don't know. I was poor when I was a kid, so we didn't have snacks, right? We just couldn't afford snacks. So every time we got snacks, that shit was gone immediately.
Right.
But I would go to my buddy's house. They had snacks all the time. They didn't eat snacks all the time because they just were there all the time. They had soda in the refrigerator. That shit would last 20 seconds in my house.
I'm still confused.
No, I see what you're saying.
Because if you don't have
it's
something,
there, you almost don't do it.
Gotcha.
It's not nearly as interesting to you because it's so easy and so available.
If it's so available and accessible, people aren't interested, dude. You have porn on your phone. How often do you look at porn on your phone?
Joe, don't answer that because people will watch.
For sure. You might ruin some.
Multi-points a day?
No, but I mean, honestly, how often do you go and look at porn? You could do it all day, every single day for 24 hours a day. And what do you spend? Maybe 10 minutes a month looking at porn?
That's a strong point. Matter of fact, I feel like I'm wasting time here. I got to go catch up on some new projects that I just...
New projects.
Is there a private feature?
And I have to throw this out there. So I just heard this the other day. So someone that is low class, right? With just lives has a TV, basic stuff.
That's not low class. That's called minimalistic.
All right. Bing. Mm-hmm. So they actually live a better life than someone who was rich in the 1800s. Is that
Oh,
unbelievable?
sure. No. That makes sense.
I never really thought
And what
about
are you talking about when you
What
quantify quality of life?
Yeah,
What do we
well,
mean? Do we
that's
mean
because we
longevity?
have-
Do you mean like
I'm talking about
access
like
to
have access to basically the
anything?
internet,
Sure.
an iPhone,
Running water,
a smart TV,
toilets,
running water, exactly.
penicillin.
Dentistry.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. That's ridiculous.
But that's pretty unbelievable.
No,
Who did that
point
study?
received. Point
And why did
received.
they spend $1 million on it?
But that's unbelievable, isn't it?
No.
Like, you don't think about that.
Well, no, you don't, because it's obvious.
All right, so I met you 10 years ago.
Right.
That was where you started. No, I'm sorry. In 2010 is when we met.
Correct.
All right,
Yeah.
so you were leading, and I went off on a
We went
adventure.
down the
Sorry.
rabbit hole, and
Yeah,
we
sorry.
went
Sorry about
pretty
that.
deep, my friend.
Yeah, so I was
Standard.
going to stop you before we really get into like.
To be honest, our fans actually like that.
They
part of
like
the show.
that way much better than the kayak talk.
Oh,
Right.
well, that's good because
Yeah.
I'm much better at that than
Yeah.
the kayak talk, so this is
Good.
going to work
Very
out well.
cool.
Perfect.
So, with you guys, with
Yes.
the Sailfish Smackdown that's coming up actually this weekend.
Right.
So we got the captain's meeting, the 11th at Brews Room in Pompano Beach, from 5 to 8. Just so you guys know.
Selfless plug. I like it.
There we go.
Okay.
Weather's fine, guys. Come
And
on
the
down.
weather is looking better. It went down by 10 miles per hour, by the way, for Saturday.
Sign up locals.
Please.
All
And
my peeps.
because we got a lot of out-of-towners. And they could potentially take it again because last year we had an angler from Jacksonville
Right.
and an angler from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania win each event, and then the angler from Jacksonville won the series, which is unbelievable. Because again, the locals, I mean, since Benny killed it that one year, what was it, 2016? That was the last time I think the locals have won a sailfish
No,
tournament.
Austin won one.
That was 2015, I believe, wasn't it?
Oh, well, yeah, I mean,
Then you had-
16
and
was
then-
only 2 years ago. So.
Yeah. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting.
Do you still have like the Stanley Cup thing?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like the big trophy.
Oh,
and
yeah.
do you actually have all the names marked
Oh
on
yeah,
there?
and we have the Billfish Hall of Fame trophy as well.
Yeah, fancy. Where do you put all that?
Yeah, and that goes all the way back to the.
It's in the office.
It's in the
Okay.
office. Yeah.
Oh, fancy.
It'll go in the real studio when we get a real studio.
All right. I love this. This is a great real
It's
studio.
beautiful.
It's not bad.
For shooting adult entertainment.
Yeah, exactly.
The lighting is solid.
Keeps down.
It's a nice
Soundproofing?
side
I got
thing,
it.
you know what I mean?
Soundproof, yeah.
We got to pay the bills.
As long
I ain't
as-
judging.
Right.
That's funny.
But yeah, so we have the huge raffle coming up,
Right.
and that helps the Broward's Children's Center, which we've been a part of for years, as
Right.
you guys know.
Absolutely.
And Nautical Ventures was nice enough to donate the Predator. Let me look at my notes here. because I
MK.
keep
Just go with
forgetting-
it.
the MK.
There you go.
Just ask us.
Way to nail it. Way to nail
You
it.
like that?
Yeah, so first off, you are absolutely right. We have known you for quite some time. It's been a hell of a journey, to
Sure.
say the least. It's been cool to kind of see the meteoric growth of the Extreme Kayak Fishing Tournament. And I remember the day that you walked in, you know, the small, emaciated, underfed looking childlike man. That,
Poor college,
Yeah.
no musculature.
yeah, no,
Oh
not
my
at
God.
all.
Yeah.
You know,
What are we
wearing
doing
some
here?
sort of a sweater type shirt, and
Sweater.
yeah. So after we gave him a Kahlua bar and
Half a
and
sandwich.
Pedialyte, yeah, we just because we felt so bad, he had this
Pedialyte.
idea for a tournament, and yeah, I mean you have to, right? Whenever you have a sickly one, and actually, how you have like self-image issues. I had the reverse because I was so fit at the time. I was so big that I thought I was making him feel small and like look bad and feel bad about himself. That I've actually gotten smaller to help his self-confidence.
That makes sense.
Just so you
No,
guys
this is
know,
100% true. This is
it
exactly
was
as
the
it
opposite.
No,
when
this is
we
how
met,
it transpired. This is gospel truth.
Right.
Everyone that was there knows.
Okay.
But then he had the idea for the Extreme Kayak Fishing Tournament, the very first one, and said he was going to be able to get anglers on the water in a new way, kayak anglers specifically.
Sure.
And what was cool for Nautical Ventures is that we've always kind of leading edge. What is new? What's innovative? What's going to push the threshold of our marketplace? And at the time, we were just a kayak shop. And so it was really cool to have someone come in with this wild idea. And at first, us being who we are, we're like, there's no way. Like first, and he's showing us some of these
Right.
photos on his iPhone 2 or whatever we had at the
Yeah,
time.
iPhone 4.
Yeah. They're like, hey, look what I caught on this kayak. I do tours. And so he goes, just be a part of it. And so he gave us the opportunity to join in then. And of course, we kind of hitched our cart to that wagon and been with you ever since. So
Yeah.
it's been a lot of fun. And when we had the opportunity to donate for this event, and of course the right cause, it's an easy decision for us.
Sure.
And although, not another selfless plug, although Hobie is clearly the leading innovator in kayak technology when it
Correct.
comes to fishing.
And a big sponsor as well.
They've been fantastic
Yeah.
for Nautical Ventures. I mean, it's by far our best-selling brand. By far, if we go up and down your beach on launch day,
Definitely.
I mean, the 80% or more now are there.
Oh, for
And the
sure.
change was pretty unbelievable too.
Oh,
If
man,
you look at
every-
the old pictures.
Oh yeah,
from the
absolutely.
first
From the
tournaments.
beginning, when you have the Malibus, you have the Scramblers, and you
Oceans.
have the Tritons, and I mean all
Yeah.
the different stuff. And then now it's like Hobie.
That's it. Yeah.
And so they're great. But what we want to do with this donation is that we're still donating the kayaks that we do throughout the tournaments in your year. That
Sure.
of course Hobie. But we said, you know what? We're not just just Hobie. You know, Nautical Ventures is a brand. We're a branded house, not a house of brands.
Right.
And so we wanted to kind of do something that was a little bit different and still kind of cater to the kayak fishing element, of course.
Sure.
But something that shows that, you know, it's not just Hobie. And if we have those people out there that aren't Hobie people, you know, that's just the way it is.
And that's what's great about
Ford people. They may hate Chevy. So if that's the case, then
it's so tribal, right?
It really is.
It's like,
and so we wanted to
other.
bring something else to the fold that shows that if you kind of have other interests, we also offer those types of things. And so that's why that Predator came up. It's a awesome kayak for the fishing purpose of what you're doing. And I'm sure you get this debate all the time, which is kind of that sail power versus electric versus paddle versus pedal.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's so much fun to deal with from your perspective.
Sure.
Yeah.
But from ours, you know, we don't have a dog in the fight. We could care less what you choose. It's just whatever the rules that you've outlined.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what makes us a great team, because when I built Extreme, I didn't want it to be just one kayak. I wanted to get the sport itself in general, right, as a whole, to grow and do new things and create something that anyone and everyone can be a part of. And I'm not telling them what to use, because in the end, and me and you were talking about this, the goal is to catch a lot of fish, just like I've told you from the beginning, to catch big fish, have a good time, big party, and just for all these people to like the sport. You know what I mean? That's the most important thing, and that's why, you know, again, with this kayak, it's perfect, and with our events, the way we're created, you know, we give everybody an opportunity, you know, to do what they want to do when it comes to kayaks and what they're fishing on, to an extent. And if someone wanted to go out there in an alligator raft, I'd say go for it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So, you know, we have help boats out there, and, you know, we take safety very seriously. So, you know, why not? Why can't someone go out there with whatever they want to go out on?
Do you still get anybody paddleboarding?
Small, minute. And it only happens in, like, the summer tournaments.
Is it just because it's such a disadvantage?
I think so. Yeah, because they can't, you know, in the end, they can't carry the same amount of gear.
Sure.
And I feel like once they get to a certain depth offshore, I feel like the current really takes advantage of how light they actually are compared to a kayak.
Right.
I mean, it matters, obviously, what kind of kayak you're on. But from the guys that I've seen fishing on paddleboards, they get swept, I mean, far and fast, quickly.
It's just harder it's definitely harder to paddle. You have one paddle.
Right.
Either, and you know, I paddle a kayak, so I paddle. So I don't think the current has as much to do with it as it is like it's actually more difficult to propel a paddleboard than it is a kayak.
Are you like an anti-pedal or
no?
any other?
No, I bought 2 Hobies from you guys.
Yeah, but I mean, you paddle still now.
Yeah, I paddle now. I'm a distributor for a kayak company, the Stealth Kayak.
Selfless plug. Oh my God, is there any content? Or
hey, bro, you asked.
Selfless.
I wouldn't have mentioned it at all. You asked.
Commonly,
it's just easier to paddle or pedal than it is to paddle a paddleboard. You got one blade, and you have to do this, and then you have to switch sides. I mean, you don't even paddle. You're getting double the propulsion. And I think there are some paddleboards that are sick, and like Palm Beach Pete's paddleboard that I think it's a Dragonfly.
Yeah. Well, look at Ryan Jones.
Thing's sick.
Oh yeah, the Little Fish.
Yeah, but that thing's a beast trying to paddle though.
Yeah, no,
it's not easy to paddle, and you get because it's a catamaran, you get stuck in the wind. And you're just going wherever it tells you to go. Yeah, that's
right, sure.
You can't get home. You know, like going fishing is easy, man. Getting back is the tough part. Like you have a time limit. You can't do it on those things. So
that's the thing. Yeah, the events. I mean, time. Is everything.
So you don't restrict it, but it kind of naturally weeds itself out as a point.
The only thing that's restricted is motors, and that's
it.
You mean gas-powered propulsion or electric as well?
Both.
Yeah,
so no motors whatsoever in Joe's tournament, but air. So you have trimarans still out there? Like do you have anybody that runs Tandem Islands and sails?
Not many, but yeah.
And some people sick fishing videos on some of those Tandem Islands where those guys take them out and rig out the off the Akas and rig the rod. I mean, there's some like disgustingly awesome.
If you know how to sail, man, those things are tops. You could go 10 knots in that thing and
do
for
nothing.
Wahoo.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Not doing anything.
And not work while the guy's next to you, while he's over here, Mr. Paddle a lot, so over here just cranking away at it.
The negative part is like in Texas, like we saw a guy, he wasn't in the tournament actually, that dude, but he was coming in and the surf just ate him up and he dumped that thing straight back over. The mast was probably 3 feet in the sand.
He turtled the Tandem Island?
Man.
Oh,
dude,
nice.
Straight over, dude.
Oh, that's brutal.
So he was just a mess. So it took 15 people in the brutal surf to try to turn him back over. And his mast was all busted.
I might have been the guy that kind of drifted away on the beach. Like, oh, that looks like a problem. I'm gonna go sit over here.
Yeah, have you're right, like 15 guys.
It was so many of us out there trying to help the dude.
We're helping.
And it sucked. It was like, dude, that's like an $8,000 rig. And it was just getting pummeled. It's not the initial crash. It's like
just
the next
sitting there
45 minutes of
just getting
of
beat
surf
on.
just punishing you.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, there's some sale guys, but it just doesn't really make sense.
And
like,
you know, when I came to you guys, which is also what's great about Nautical Ventures as a sponsor, is when I come with ideas, new ideas, like we talked about the other day.
Absolutely.
They listen. They listen to what my idea is, and we go with it, and we roll with it, and we see what happens. I mean,
I think we rarely tell you no.
No, yeah. I mean,
rarely.
Think about like our journey. You know, as together as a sponsor and an event, we've been through, you know, to another country in the Bahamas. We've been to Texas. We've been, you know, we created the first, you know, kayak billfish event in the nation together. Remember when I came to you with that? We were talking about
Absolutely. No, I mean, and I got to give you, of course, all the credit there. That's all you come out with these crazy ideas, and then you're like, hey, can you just help, you know,
but we can't do it without the support, right?
I understand.
So
it goes both ways.
Yeah.
I think our big contributing factor was it was really cool to see, you know, Roger, our owner, get involved when you're doing the Bahamas the first time.
Yeah.
And then to bridge that gap
That
with
was
the
big.
tourist board.
Right.
And like, I mean, I remember we were in 10 of those meetings with you guys and like being part of that first. So like
And
that
it was
kind
tough.
of,
It was
that was a
grinding.
cool like lending hand where I
Yeah.
actually felt maybe we assisted, you know,
100%.
beyond. But past that, it's also been cool to see where you don't really, you know, need as much help specifically anymore in terms of like running and doing
Sure.
like from an operational standpoint you're
Right.
really dialed in. It's more of like how do I one up the thing I created to one up myself to make it better than the last thing that I made, which was one upping that.
Right. That's the hardest part.
Yeah, and so
Right.
now your ideas are just getting more not nearly, I don't use the word lofty, but more
Extreme.
yeah, maybe that's it. Inclusive is actually
Right.
the kind of the word that comes to my mind, and how you're taking it and your concepts are more going full circle and the way you want to bring things in.
Yeah.
It's
Speaking
cool.
of that-
It's cool to see and being part of.
Spencer and I had a meeting discussing the future.
I didn't know if I was allowed to talk about it.
Yeah,
I was really dancing. I was like, oh shit, I don't want to be that guy.
Fred knows about it too. We'll talk a tiny bit about it right here, but I don't want
you
to.
mean my invention?
I don't want to
my idea?
blast. You know the whole
Took
thing.
credit for all that, didn't he?
Oh, was that
course.
yours?
Yeah.
Oh
Give
yeah,
me
he
a
took.
break.
No,
Come
he
on.
1,000%.
No, it's
and he's
not.
1,000%.
Don't listen to him, guys.
He
So
took
at
full credit.
1,000.
So as you guys know, with the Sailfish Smackdown right around the corner, we did do a post and sent out a mass email. And now the Sailfish Smackdown is essentially part of the SummerSlam series.
What?
So if you catch a sailfish, okay, that's 10 pounds towards the ring. Now that does not count for individual money events. Okay, this is for the end of the year, the grand champion. Now, we have a little surprise coming soon, and that will be announced after the Sailfish Smackdown, and it'll be our 4th event of the year. And the goal really in the end is to kind of come full circle. And I think for growth and for the brand, it's going to be very important. And it could be big.
Well said.
We'll see.
It's like a cliffhanger.
We'll see what happens.
I want to tune into episode 59 now.
Oh, yeah.
50. Are we on 58?
Yeah,
Or
we're almost
57?
at 60.
Whatever number it is, the next one. I just want to hear what that one
I think
is.
the goal for the year is to get to like 100.
Yeah, if we could do 100. What are we going to do for the 100?
Goal for the year, like as in 19?
Yeah.
So you only want to do 40 this entire year?
Now we could do more than
We
that.
could do more, but we got to do something special for episode 100. We
Maybe
should
we'll
have Spencer
maybe
back.
we'll have
100? That's in December? I have time. I'll book
is
it.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan still alive? I'd like to have him on.
Who?
He doesn't even know what the
Who is
hell
that? This is
Hacksaw
before my
Jim
time.
Duggan?
I mean, I am the youngest one in the room, so.
No,
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Well,
I'm definitely the youngest one in the room.
That's not true.
It's so rare. It feels good.
Whoever thinks Spencer's younger than me, leave a comment below.
No.
Because I'm very interested to see what people think. Because
Okay, I'm wearing a hat, so it's good. So you can't see my receding hairline. It's just a beard. So I could be anywhere from like 12
to
to
55.
55. Yeah, that's that sort
in
of a
today's
range.
in today's modern food economy,
I think so.
You could definitely grow a beard at 12.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure. With all the hormones in the chicken.
Oh.
That's true.
Easily.
I only eat hormone-filled chicken. I
Yeah.
actually go for it.
Who's
because I
trying
feel
to
like it's better.
avoid the
Why
extra
would you,
bulk?
Exactly. Why would you
Yeah.
not want that?
It's ridiculous.
God.
We get away from me with this free range crap. Anyway, if you guys have ideas for the 100th episode,
Leave a comment below.
Yeah.
And Spencer.
Yes.
So I want to know your view, basically, as a whole,
Oh my god, I'm excited. What question is going to follow?
on the kayak fishing scene. Like, what have you seen? Being the store here,
Sure.
right, for kayaks
Uh-huh.
in general,
Of course.
and the customers and the events that we do, and pretty much as a whole, where do you see it going, and what do you think the future pretty much is for this sport? Do you think it'll still grow? Do you think it's kind of going up and down? Do you think it needs something to get to that next level?
All good questions. there's a lot in there.
Yes.
I'm going to just try to take it one piece at a time.
I like that.
Okay. So my first counter question is, do you mean specifically in our territory, this region,
let's say no, our territory.
Our specific territory?
Correct.
Well, like all things, they level. So, I mean, there's a growth curve to every business model that's ever been built. And, of course, at some point, you know, you have that meteoric rise, which we talked about that you're on. And so at some point, it'll start to plane. That's obviously going to happen. We saw it with paddleboards when they were first invented, right?
Oh, that was a huge craze.
Boom, and everybody bought paddleboards, and everyone's manufacturing paddleboards. And now you see that kind of the top tier managed to level off, and a lot of the other ones have died off, and kind of that's now dipping back down. So in terms of the growth of the sport, will it level in specifically related to kayak fishing? Yes. Are you there yet? No, I don't think so.
Me either.
I think that you're continuing to get more and more exposure, more awareness, and then you're seeing a lot more crossover that it kind of in the beginning was kind of a good time for this because you hit it right in the middle of a recession. And fuel was expensive and people didn't have boats. I mean, it was a bad time to sell boats and it was a good time. Not that these kayaks are super cost effective in terms of like you can go from $500 to $15,000. I mean, it really is whatever range you want to be in. But there is a boat for everybody out there. And if you still want to fish and you still want to get on the water and you want to do it in an economically conscientious way, there's a way to do it. And so that, in conjunction with you spearheading these unique ideas on how we're going to get people together in offshore, obviously began this trajectory that you're on. So you're just kind of at the tip of that iceberg, and you have so many options for boaters to still do both or cross over and do both.
Which we've seen, yeah.
You start to see that bleed, recently. And I think you'll see more and more because it's kind of that next level of challenge, right? I mean, you're going to have your professional boat fishermen. They're always professional boat fishermen, never going to change. But you're going to have a lot of those people that are also going, man, this is more intense. Like, this is more extreme. I mean, not that fishing is ever boring.
It's not a team.
But it's you. It's much more personal. It's you out on the water. It's just that you're in a small craft.
Right.
I remember the Bahamas where I can't remember who it was. Who hooked the marlin that he fought for 8 hours?
Yeah, I mean, that was huge.
Fought it for 8 hours, and it's twice the size of the kayak.
And that was huge for the sport.
Absolutely. So as those types of developments occur and you get more people in the water, you have more opportunity for those to happen again, which will, of course, snowball in the positive direction.
Sure.
So I think that you're kind of at the cusp of even a next level of growth. I mean, you could perpetuate this to a whole nother plateau.
Which is the goal, right?
Sure, and it just is continuing to do what you're doing, which is how do I include more people? How do I make this where it's not extreme kayak fishing is kind of a misnomer of a name in my opinion.
Right.
And it's because is it extreme in the sense that it's unique, different, and challenging in a new way? Well, of course. Is it extreme where like 1 of 5 people die? No, it's not. So the average Joe with some training and a very little experience can get out on the water.
Sure.
And that's a good thing. You know, we want to be able to appeal to the masses. The goal isn't to the niche 1% that are like hardcore.
Exactly.
It's how do I get everyone out on the water? And to me, your sport lends that. And so if you like fishing and you like being on the water, this is an opportunity to do it at a budget-friendly opportunity, which is rare.
Right.
So I think you have a long way to go, and it's cool to be kind of ride the coattails and see where you travel.
I think that's what's exciting about when we talked about the new event that's going to happen. I think that's geared exactly towards the masses.
Are we still not talking about it?
No, but this will be my last little plug.
Okay.
Yeah. See the hand?
Yeah. See, that's when you ask me. I'm like, I don't know what I'm allowed to say. Right. So I'd like to bridge more into another gap, but I feel like I don't want to steal your thunder. So
no, that's fine. Yeah. But I feel like that will, from what we talked about.
If the goal is putting more people in the water, you will always be able to put more people in the water.
Yeah.
So.
But I also want people to understand how important. And we were talking about paddleboarding before, and as you know, Rory does the paddleboard race at the SummerSlam.
Right.
And me and him had a talk a couple of years ago, and what killed kind of the paddleboard craze as well was the competitions that they had, these races, weren't getting enough sponsors. The sponsorships weren't really coming in. And it ended up kind of just dying out, right? And that hurt the whole sport in general.
Right.
And I want people to understand how important, even for guys that are just, out there just for fun and that don't do any tournaments, how important competition or competitions are for the sport.
Oh, yeah, any sport.
And you and I were talking.
Yeah, absolutely.
And me and you even talked. So like the NFL, for instance, if it wasn't a competition where people are fighting for the goal of the Super Bowl trophy, it wouldn't be fun to watch because
of course not.
There's no point. So for any kind of sport, you need competitions to showcase it, number one, to the world of how popular and awesome it can be.
Sure.
Okay. And number two, you need the sport to bring people together in the community, because without those things, the sport itself, without competition and without these competitions, just withers away.
What do you think, Fred?
Yeah, I mean, it gets back to like sort of this whole pro staff thing where Joe's correct. Like, you need we need Nautical Ventures to sponsor Joe's event in order to have the event. Because if Nautical Ventures just gave every guy a $500 credit at Nautical Ventures, I don't know how much you guys spend. I don't talk your business, but like, if you guys just supported 30 anglers who compete in his tournaments
and not the tournament,
the tournament goes away, and these assholes don't have any.
Yeah,
they don't have anywhere to showcase themselves.
Right. Sure.
So I see a lot of these companies like just eating their. You're eating your advertising by doing these individual. It happened to me in MMA. Like, I used to promote MMA shows, and I had a big supplement company. You would know them very well. They supported my MMA show. Then they started doing this thing where they were like just giving all the fighters in our state. It was amateur fighters. They didn't have no one got paid. They just started giving them, discounts on stuff and sample. You've seen sample pack products, and I didn't have enough money to put on the show. Now what happens is the fighters don't have a show to fight on, so the sample packs that you just gave these dudes, they never get seen anyway because there's no showcasing of it. So it all goes back to that. Like, I do believe, competition it helps push the sport, which is
as a whole.
Yeah, as a whole. It's just like auto racing. I mean, anything, like all that stuff that happens in competition trickles down into the manufacturing of consumer products.
Absolutely.
So you guys have, like you said, a $500 kayak. I mean, those things are fueled, like the ability to make those $500 kayaks comes from like the advertising that is, these companies get seen through this kind of thing. Like if you live in Oklahoma, you don't see a kayak commercial. There's no kayak commercials, right? So like, really, yeah. You're not going to see a kayak commercial anywhere. Like, that just doesn't happen. So it's up to these events to get the publicity for these products, for the manufacturers to be able to sell more stuff. That's what I think. I mean, I think that
I think what he's talking about is there is kind of a thing that people have been seeing.
It was like a trend of like the manufacturers sort of moving their advertising money
so not
to individuals
both,
instead of like events. And like for Chad Hoover, like Torquedo sponsors his tournament. If Torquedo just gave the top 50 guys a motor, Chad's tournament goes away.
Right.
And then there's no advertising for Torquedo. So nobody really cares about those 50 individual guys unless they do well in his tournaments. So it's sort of like a weird...
No, but so the thesis doesn't change, which is competition breeds awareness and the ability to continue on. And I think that transcends all mediums and all platforms, no matter what we're doing. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, kids don't want to play Pop Warner football just for the hell of playing Pop Warner football.
That's why we give out trophies.
Yeah, they want to play because there's a chance they might end up in the NFL. They want to play because they saw the Giants beat the Cowboys.
They're wearing his jersey.
It's these big competitions are why people on the lowest levels want to get into a sport.
You're absolutely right. And I didn't check my phone before I got here, but how are the Raiders? Are they? What division?
How are the Raiders doing?
Are the Raiders in? I didn't. What playoffs?
Speaking of Pop Warner.
Yeah. Where's the? I didn't see the.
They're actually in the playoffs right now.
Are they?
We have the Chiefs in Kansas City next weekend. Stay tuned for that, guys. But no, I agree with the whole thing. Like, it's just when you said the sport is still so new and it's the tip of the iceberg. That's where we're at right now. In reality, I mean, it's still very niche. It's still small, and
that's a good point. It's far more niche than mainstream,
right?
And you 100%. Haven't hit that main vein yet. And once you do, it'll be a whole nother game.
Sure, and it's fragile. That's another thing that no one really talks about, how fragile a new sport really is. And like what Fred was saying, it could go different ways and just kind of wither away, or it can go the other way and be on ESPN one day. And something that really like makes me feel happy when I talk to some of these out-of-towners that come and fish my events is they'll know the names of certain guys who won the ring and certain guys who caught the marlin and certain guys who got the biggest wahoo they've ever seen. Like, they know them by name and they look up to those guys, seeing what they've done.
Creating your own celebrities.
And that, that is also another reason why competitions are huge for the sport, because you need someone to look up to. You need that stuff.
Well, you've seen that happen in the last 10 years in CrossFit. Like, exact same thing has happened. Like, dudes were just getting together in a gym, in a warehouse, and now it's like a big damn deal. Like the CrossFit Games are huge.
Oh yeah, so it's funny you mention that. Like Joe and I talk about this often because he comes in and like rags on me usually for fitness and those types of things.
CrossFit.
Yeah, that. And so, but the big leading, the 100% reason that I transitioned, I used to lift weights. I know, shocking, but I used to lift weights even with Joe. And I
just caveman style, right? Picking heavy stuff up, putting it down.
Pick it up, put it down. More like bodybuilding
style. Strut around the gym for 30 minutes. Pick some more heavy stuff up.
Put it down. Watch Joe do it.
Strut around the gym again.
Yeah.
Text message. Check in on Facebook. The whole thing.
That sort of thing. Right. And I was committed to that. And we actually worked out. But it was it's you. It's just you against you. And it's a very you go to a gym. Even now, you go to any gym. I don't care if it's an LA Fitness, a small mom and pop gym, where if you don't have a Joe, or a big commercial gym, and everyone's in their own little world. Maybe you and your one guy, right?
Yeah.
It's like you and one thing.
You're pushing each other.
And maybe that's it, or maybe it's you by yourself.
Yeah.
But there is no competition. The competition is self-driven exclusively.
Sure.
And I got into CrossFit because my wife was just actually hounding on me. She's like, "You'd really," like, she got into it. She's like, "You'd really like this." And I did what Joe did. I was like, "CrossFit? Hippies? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that crap.
Fuck those socks."
Yeah, I mean, come on. I'm not that guy. Yeah. And I went one day and puked my guts out trying to keep up with these yahoos that kind of
pregnant women just running house on you,
beating me down.
It's crazy, dude.
It really is. And then I saw, man, two things. One is there's daily competition, and the second was it was very community driven. So as opposed to being very isolated and very you against you, it was very you're against everyone around you, but there's a whole team of people that are there working with you to help you get better, want you to compete, want you to do well.
Right.
And it transcends all types of goals. So you could be the guy that just wants to come a few days a week, you'll work on yourself. And then you could be the guy that wants to do like me, like more like a local competition stuff. I'm not nearly gifted, talented, or dedicated enough to beyond that. But I enjoy doing like the local competition thing, and I really like the daily challenge of doing it. And it is that competition that breeds that, and it's the competition is why that sport by itself. I mean, you watch the growth in it, and over the last 5 years, 6 years, and it's going to continue to just skyrocket because of the exact thing that you're talking about.
Right.
And it's people tend to drive themselves towards that. They want community, they want something a goal, and they want accountability, and they want people to help them achieve those goals. And that is the kind of sport that lends itself to, and the same thing that you're talking about with your tournaments or any application.
Sure. Yeah.
And
it applies to everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at weightlifting before CrossFit, and there was no competition. It was powerlifting, and like, dude, maybe 500 people on Earth do that shit? Like, it's not. Yeah. No one does it. It's like so.
Yeah, if you're on the Olympic team, or like somehow you got drafted into like that sort of.
Yeah, I mean, how many people do you know who are? I don't even know if you can be a professional powerlifter. Like, is there?
Yeah,
I mean, do you
powerlifting or Olympic lifting? I mean, so they're different, but yeah, to answer your question. You could poll 100 people and they wouldn't be able to name 4.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be able to. You could poll 2,000 people. You don't even know a person who actually is a boxer. Like sports are. People look at these sports and they're like, "Oh my god." No, I mean like personally, like you.
That I personally know.
Yeah,
no.
Nobody knows a boxer because that shit is so minuscule of the population. Like no one does it. So like you were saying, this sport could blow up and be mainstream, but still no one knows who a kayak fish. No one could name a kayak fishing angler.
That's what I'm saying. It's still so small.
It's so small
and fragile.
And like you said, so much growth possibility. Like,
and you can make it to the common. So what is cool about and unique and it's different is that the NFL. How many people, to your point, grow up trying to get to the league? So
every child in middle school, it's
so how many of them make it? What is the percentile of people that aim for it and actually achieve it? And it's such a low number. It can't be a big number.
Yeah.
And that typically comes with high paid, unique jobs. But
sure.
Whenever we're talking about your sport, you do have the opportunity to appeal to the expert down to the novice.
And the novice could win.
And just the novice can win just as much as the expert.
Especially in the Sailfish Smackdown.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's had a different winner every single year. From Oklahoma, from Pittsburgh, from Jacksonville, from wherever. Texas. I mean, we've had guys from all over the country win the Sailfish Smackdown and place. It's really unbelievable to where that event has grown and gotten to. I mean, yeah, it's a smaller event. It's not as big as the SummerSlam, but maybe if now we incorporate the Sailfish tournament into the SummerSlam, okay, instead of making them separate, like you said, and kind of bringing them together, it gets to a whole other realm.
It's exciting.
I know.
It's exciting.
Yeah, we're just talking about like at the end of the year, like one person who stood above everyone who enters all the tournaments.
The complete anger.
You're getting this ring and notoriety as the best guy who competed in all these tournaments over the year. And I think that's a bigger deal than, you know.
On different realms of fishing.
Right. It's like there's two completely different techniques
Exactly.
when it comes to fishing for these fish. So, yeah.
So the
I like that idea.
bright. Yeah.
And what's the trophy look like, by the way?
And the trophy from Global Fish Mounts is awesome.
Selfless plug.
Yeah. And look at this puppy right here.
Look at that. I'll hold it.
Can we cue up some sort of music?
Boom. I'll put some music in there.
All right, good. I want something that, you know, really pulls on the heartstrings, though.
What's really cool about what the Global does with their work is they even have the little, you know how sailfish feel like sandpaper on their bill?
Yeah, they put a little grip tape in there.
Sandpaper up there and
A little grip tape. No, it is cool.
But
it actually is cool, and it's actually it's kind of like it's deceiving because it looks it's heavy.
It is.
It's like
a
serious. Heavy. It's not like it's like some like trophy that, you know what I'm talking, like the gold ones that are like plastic and hollow.
It's like hollow resin.
It's legit.
That's a
pretty
real
legit.
deal trophy.
Of course it is.
Yeah. So we're really excited about it. And
only the best from #GlobalFishMounts. Please visit globalfishmounts.com or call us at the 1-800-GLOBAL-FISHMOUNTS. Ask for Spencer Milligan, and we're very happy to have
I hope that's the number. It's so great.
I think we might have Spencer do the intro to Kayak Fishing Raw.
A little Dr. Laura intro and everything.
Oh, I do miss that. Yeah, I do. Dr. Laura. What was
like Delilah.
No, Delilah, wasn't it?
Laura Schlesinger.
No, Laura Schlesinger. Is she still on, or she?
Delilah, she's still on.
No, I'm talking about Dr. Laura. She's got to be 140.
On Caleb.
You never Dr. Laura.
No.
Oh, you're.
Was
lucky.
it like smooth sounds of?
No. It was like it was therapist that you'd call
she's
in.
Like relationship therapy, dude.
Yeah, or anything
Really?
therapy. Yeah, you'd call and you're like, hey, I got a loaded gun. She's like, well, let's put that hammer down there, big guy. Let's relax here. All right, so what I'd like to do is I'm going to offer you a help center that you're going to please call and talk to. Yeah. Or it'd be like as simple as like a relationship thing. Like my girlfriend cheated on me. What should I do? Well, Mike,
leave her. Like she would sometimes give hard love. You know, she was good.
Dr. Laura was legit.
She's probably still on. I'm sure she's still on.
But she was old back then, I guess.
I thought so. Like whenever I was a kid. I mean, I'm talking.
So
I was a kid.
Oh,
yeah. I thought she was old then.
She's down
it's like Judge Judy. Have you ever like caught midday for some reason and you like turn it on?
Sir. She's scary.
I know, but she's still on. She's been on TV for 137 years. I think they just did the record, and it's like,
just
how are you?
Google how much money she makes.
Oh my god,
Judge Judy?
She's the highest paid television star.
Really?
Of all time.
Well, what I really like is in the beginning of Judge Judy, like if you watch her early stuff, I'm a vintage guy. So if you watch like the vintage work, she actually would be a judge. She'd like really listen to the cases and like really back and forth. Now she lays down that sense in about 3 minutes. They say 4 words. She's like, nope, you're done. I've got judgment to the plaintiff. Bam.
Dropping that hammer.
Yeah.
Dropping that
scary.
hammer.
She gets paid by case. I've decided it's a per case situation, so she's trying to roll them through, baby. Keep the meter running.
She makes so much money, it's absurd. Like absurd. Yeah,
in the wrong business.
Millions per episode.
How do you think one would get that though? Like being a judge, right? Like how did she?
Right place, right time, hard work, personality.
Do you apply for that? You think, or do they just find her? Like,
I mean, she's like a literal lawyer, and then she became a judge, and then like she just had this thing.
I don't know how she got intro into the. She's one of the first that I know.
Some network was like, well, I mean, there used to be Judge Wapner in the People's Court.
Okay,
that was a big one back when I was a kid. I'm 40.
You went for the
how old are you?
40.
And you're in. Did we talk about how old you are?
I know, 39.
I'm not.
38.
Come on, bro.
37.
Lower.
39.
Nope.
I know you got to be somewhere. I know where I am, so I know where you are. Like somewhere in the realm there.
He's 39, guys.
No, I'm not.
Don't let him trick you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when you see my birthday, which is coming up this month on Facebook, they'll see my age.
Oh, that's so exciting.
You're wrong.
What are you gonna do for your party?
He put
You gonna put a bounce house out?
I'm thinking
trampoline room.
I think I might have a little pool party.
Just you?
Yeah.
Just you by yourself.
Joe and the Turtles.
My barbecue.
Joe and the Turtles.
Might barbecue a little, little ribs.
Nice.
He'll have me
myself a
come over
little
and cook.
cocktail,
Just one. So the sign of a true alcoholic is when you carry singles with you. I want you to know that.
Yeah.
Really?
Would you like to call Dr. Laura? I'm sure I can arrange like a phone in.
Yeah.
Well, it is tournament time, so.
So you got to carry the singles?
Yeah,
That's
they
solid.
Help. They get me through the day.
It's the first time I've ever actually had someone offer me that. Would you like a drink? And I'm like, oh, like, are we like a mixer? Like, no, literally.
I have the airplane.
I have one.
I have the airplane.
Well,
I have one drink.
This is considered a, like a little onesie, right?
He put his.
That's a onesie?
I mean,
that's got to be what? 2.5 ounces? It's got to be like. What's in there?
We don't know.
Everclear?
I think it's vodka. It's 4 ounces.
4 ounces. That's like.
No, it just says 40%. I don't know how many ounces.
I mean, that's.
Here, let me see it.
It's for good luck. You can't open.
It doesn't say.
I'm not allowed to crack it open.
No,
I can't smell it.
No.
Oh,
I know,
bro. He wouldn't even let me drink
It'd
it.
be bad luck. Yeah.
He wouldn't even let me drink it back when I was.
This was actually a gift from Jay. He was the first host. Yeah. So we got
episode 1.
Episode 1.
We're bringing Jay back for episode 100. Please stay tuned.
We should do. That's a great idea.
You're welcome. You're welcome. That one's free.
We're gonna get Jay back. That would be great. You think he would do it?
Yeah,
he'll do it
for sure.
We'll talk aliens, Bigfoot. Speaking of aliens,
I'm really curious as to like I feel like we're really level here. Like this has been a legitimate conversation about multi topics that kind of all have like substance.
Yeah.
And like when
Fred hates it though for editing. He gets mad at me because he gets mad when we like change topics too fast.
No, I don't mind now that we just like post the whole entire thing. But he's like, let's just cut out the part where we're talking about this, and then
I see.
And he's like, we talked
move
about
around, like we jump in
between.
between.
Yeah, we're going back and forth, and I'm
sure.
like, dude, I can't do that. It's an hour long already, and now I have to watch it for an hour 3 different times. Like, I'm not doing that.
That's not hard.
Yeah. $50 an hour to edit. We're good. Let's do it.
I knew he was going to say that.
You know?
And I'm really kind of also disappointed that not only did I not get a dressing room or a hair and makeup person, but I don't even get headphones. I mean, this is really stubborn. What's up with your little baby mic?
I told Joe.
What's the baby mic for?
Well, this is kind of like it's more of like an effect.
Like a tactical thing?
Yeah, so like if
you're not an announcer on a football
It's supposed to work, but for some reason, I can't get it to function. It would be great, though, because Joe just moves in and out of...
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a
problem. Have I moved once?
Yeah. You're getting better.
Really?
You're just not that good at it.
So you get all the good stuff. So you get the cool headset with the extra mic. You get the nice mic.
Yeah.
You get the premier spot next to the trophy.
Correct.
I'm over here in a fold-out chair that's 6 inches lower than yours.
You're just
on purpose.
Sir, you're just not tall. Don't lie to people.
With the little baby mic that's like, hey, we found this in a kit somewhere.
This is the best mic.
We're gonna throw this in. Good, because I'm gonna sing later, so I'm really excited about that.
Also, the chair. It was $10, I think, at Target.
Probably.
Joe was supposed to have bought it 4 times, so I had to go get it.
I brought a wheelie chair in, and you didn't like that.
He brought an office desk chair.
Y'all have like these nice white, like they look like they came from IKEA.
These came with the apartment.
That was all me.
Oh, nice.
These came with the apartment.
Well,
I only had 2, and so I was like, well, I can't find that. I can't find that chair.
I ended up putting these up. Took me hours.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's a square pattern, man.
I know, but
hours.
Took a while.
Nice, with double stick tape.
He couldn't figure out how to get the backing off
the backing off the tape. That's your real challenge.
He called me. I was like, dude, what do I do with this stuff?
So are we going to get I'm really excited. So there's no call-in about mermen or...
No, but I was just going to ask you, okay, because this is the end of the show now, and I ask just about every guest, what experiences
We're done?
Have you had
close
with...
I want to keep going.
Aliens.
48.
Bigfoot.
It's been 48 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not cutting you off. It's just you're asking me something it's not even a real thing. But go ahead.
Just
I'll let you finish.
Give me some pound on that, dude.
Aliens, Bigfoot. Okay, I've had. I mean, the anal probing thing. I'm fairly certain was a drunk uncle. So I don't know if that was an alien or not.
Yeah.
I don't really want to talk about it.
Well,
but
Joe just likes talking about.
Please call Dr. Laura /Jerk 1-800 if you have a issue that you
Joe
need.
But you've never had an experience like you've never seen something odd or something crazy.
I am in the middle of something odd right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I did find something odd. I found it odd that you don't own anything with sleeves. Like, to me, it's like, how can a man come to meetings? Like, we would be in professional meetings with, like, tourist boards, council members.
I feel like they like that, though.
And then he shows up, he looks exactly like this. No matter, or I'll go to the gym to work out with him. I would show up to a wedding. This is what he's wearing.
Yeah.
Flip-flops and a tank top.
Well, true.
100% of the time.
But I think
he owns it. He owns his persona.
He does.
I think it's more. Yeah, I think it's more like of a confidence.
This is who I am.
Yeah, some people, not all, but some people, they kind of go,
I saw you one time. Marie had a birthday party that you invited me to. That's back when we were real friends.
He made me take my freaking hat off.
And he took his hat off.
So pissed.
But you have luxurious hair. Like I was really, no. I'm actually being sincere here. This is me not making fun of you. Luxurious.
You know what it is? I know the secret. When I was out of town, Joe was supposed to come over and take care of the fish. He only did that once, I think.
No,
but
that's a lie. 3 times.
Fish didn't die, so we're good. I come home, I get in the shower, and there's this bottle of shampoo in there. Tea tree oil shampoo.
Oh, it's not like mane and tail? You don't use mane and tail? That's your problem.
That's the secret,
Oh,
dude.
tea tree.
Yeah, tea tree
So
oil.
you actually have really nice hair.
Here's the trick.
There's your compliment for the day.
The trick is, since I was a kid, I've always worn hats because I hated my hair.
he was taking showers
so
at my house.
People always told me, you're
weirdo.
gonna go bald if you always wear your hat.
So you're like, I'm sticking it to the man.
So I researched, good shampoos, and I don't wash my hair that much either. That's another trick. People that wash their hair too much go bald.
They also smell good.
Yeah.
My hat's
Little column A, little column B. You got to pick your poisons.
Yeah, but you gotta. There's a science to it, and
You've mastered it.
I want to keep the
He's
fro.
got the biology down pat.
Right. I want to keep the fro as long as possible.
All right. So I'm sorry. The aliens, Bigfoot.
Fro.
No. Is there a third question? Have I had an experience with aliens or Bigfoot?
It has to be something.
Okay. Well, first off,
paranormal ghosts.
Is Bigfoot even here? Is he indigenous to South Florida?
The
Fort
skunk-
Lauderdale?
We both don't really believe in Bigfoot.
Here it's the skunk.
Jay does.
But you believe in aliens?
Yes, 100%.
Don't you
this
believe?
guy don't.
Don't you believe in that there's mermaids?
No, fuck no.
I thought you were a mermaid man.
No, the other guy that called in.
Oh, I know, but I thought he like half convinced you to like where it was
He did.
possible.
No, that was a fake. That was a fake mockumentary, dude. You haven't seen that?
The guy was real. He
The
just
guy was
made
real.
a.
I made a mockumentary for a school project
About him.
About that guy.
Okay, so you
it's
also
funny
believe
as
that.
shit. You gotta
All right,
see it.
So
yeah.
what do you?
But wait, you have to admit though, like he believed what he was saying.
Oh, he believed it for sure. He
That doesn't
definitely-
make it true.
But
No,
how do you,
yeah, I know.
But how do you make that up? How do you just like
Crazy
wake up?
people, dude.
There are.
Son of Sam killed a bunch of fucking people and explained to the police that a dog was speaking to him and made him do it.
Seems very logical.
He believed that.
Well, who are you to say it didn't happen?
I mean, it's true. I mean,
Well-
in fairness to the Son of Sam guy, who are we to say that a dog didn't actually speak to him? That's
See?
fair. That's a fair counter. I'll give you that. All right, so you're
Given
fine.
that we know dogs don't speak, it's
To most people.
Okay.
You don't know that.
You're being jealous. That's the problem. The problem is you're
Just
jealous.
because I can't hear my dog talk
Yeah,
back.
that's the issue you have.
I have to just like
No, I have
figure
no-
out what he's talking about.
I can't say that I've had any crazy paranormal experiences.
Really?
I'm really embarrassed about that. I can go sleep in like a haunted house, or I can go in there and say Bloody Mary. I don't know how that works. Like 3 times, I'll shut the door.
I would do it all day.
Is that-
Have I told you my I haven't told you my paranormal.
Well, you're never a guest, so you don't get asked.
No, you don't.
Joe is like balls deep in ghost and stuff, and I have an.
I'm more curious about the
experience-
end stuff.
No, yeah.
Well, we're talking about
Oh, okay. So all right. So ghosts.
My Little Pony porn.
So
like that
he's
kind of weird stuff.
balls deep in ghosts. It's a very reasonable place to be balls deep. Continue.
Yeah. So when I was a kid, I was probably like a 10 or 11, and I don't know how this happened. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not gonna say it was ghost, but it was definitely fucking super weird. Family goes away for like, in Alabama you go to the river. We're going to the river, dude.
Do your family actually? You don't have an accent. Did they actually talk like that?
Yeah, dude. That's why I don't have an accent.
Oh, nice.
Like I was
Commitment.
8 years old, 2nd grade, moved from Louisiana to Alabama, and my teacher was like from California. And
I was like, that sounds way better.
Can you teach me? I'm not shitting you. Can you teach me how to talk like you? Because I don't want to sound like my dad or
Nice.
these children. And she did. I was conscious of
I never knew
redneck.
that.
See?
Yeah, that's why I don't have an
Because I
accent.
probe a little deeper.
You.
I'm actually a pretty
you bring
decent
a
host.
lot out of Fred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Continue, Fred.
You
So
might have a future host here.
we go to the river, dude. And when we came back,
Don't talk
on
like
these
that.
old
It's
houses,
weird.
these old houses in the South, they have these slide bolt locks. You know the one.
Uh-huh.
You lift it up, you slide it over, you latch it down. Every single door in the house had that on it. Every window had a slide bolt lock on it.
Okay. I'm
Just like
there
that.
visually.
There's a front door and a back door and, 15 windows, whatever, 20 windows. Every single one of them was locked from the inside. Every single one of them was locked from the inside. Whoa. I don't know how that happens. We had to break a window. My dad broke a window to get into our own house. Every single door had the slide bolt locked. Don't know how that shit happened.
There's a very disturbing video on YouTube that I just watched, and my dad actually sent it to me, and it's real.
Of course.
Of course it is.
No, it really is.
It
No,
says it's real.
No, this is legit, and it's
Why wouldn't it be real? It's on YouTube, bro.
And it's weird though because it's about like this guy. He's on his deathbed, like he's in hospice, and there's like a camera in the room, I guess to watch over to make sure he doesn't, from what they said, like throw up on himself or whatever. But so he's like breathing and his mouth is open and he's at the end, and then his son comes in. He's holding his hand, and it's weird. And then the son leaves, and then the father takes like a deep breath, right, and he dies. And right after he dies, literally like this weird like orb comes up out of his head, and no one can explain it.
Can you put the link below so we can?
Yeah, put
take
that
a
link
gander?
below.
I will. And I'm thinking
I would like to
it was
vote
his
on if it's
conscience.
real.
Maybe it was his conscience. Maybe it was his. But something flew out of this guy's head.
How do we know that was at the moment that he died? Did the little banger, like, flatline?
I didn't hear anything, but he took like he went like this, and then he was just like literally still, like fake almost.
So that could have been at any time in the night, and then like he died 10 hours later. We just don't know.
Man. It was.
So what is your most interesting paranormal experience?
Don't even get.
I feel like it's got to be like for someone who's such a believer, right? It's got to be legit.
I've had quite a few.
He doesn't have.
Just pick your most disturbing one. Your short life. Short 43 years been on this earth.
I would say.
You look great for 51, by the
way. Thanks.
The cocaine and steroid diet you're on is solid. So
Adderall, sir.
Oh, that's it.
That's not real. Sorry. What were we saying? Oh yeah,
confessionals. We were talking about confessionals.
Adderall and Deca. It shit works.
By the way, who is sending this crap out of me puking on the boat?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, right.
Haven't seen it at all. What are you talking about?
Why are you puking on
I'm
the boat?
not talking about anything.
All right,
I mean, I literally have no idea.
Most extreme paranormal activity in your life. Wow me.
I'd say the weirdest thing I've ever seen altogether, like when you
pick your best. This is the highlight reel of Joe Hector.
The best, bro. You only got one. We got like
all right,
5 minutes.
I'm gonna make this real quick. So I was in high school.
I was 7.
I had my ex-girlfriend at the house, and we had a hot tub in the back. So we were sitting in the hot tub.
What was his name?
That's good. That's quick.
That was a zinger.
Yeah, that was good.
That was like right after.
Like a run.
After the show, I got to tell you a Joe story.
No, you don't.
Speaking of exes.
Okay. And we were sitting in the hot tub, and everyone was passed out in my house, and we had a couple other friends over, but they were like passed out in the basement. So me and her were just talking, and we were looking up. It was a perfectly clear night, looking up at the sky, and all of a sudden, like, I'm looking up, and I see, like, it's so hard to explain it too, but I see. All right, so you see the stars, right? And where I lived it's right by the Pine Barrens, so there's not much lights. So
this is northeast, like New York.
This is south, way south Jersey. The Pines.
Jersey. Okay, all right.
And you could look up and you could see all the stars usually, especially where I live. And I'm looking up and I see I'm looking up and I'm trying to compute what I'm looking at because I'm looking at the stars.
So you're looking at the stars, okay?
But there's this circular. It looked like a reflection, sort of
the sun. It's called the moon.
Yeah, that's the moon.
The stars
has a little man made out of cheese.
There was this circle moving, and it was huge, and it was slow. It made no sound whatsoever. It literally looked like a cloaked ship from Star Trek. Like it was cloaked, so you could see the stars through it.
Right, yeah, but they were sort of reflective, but sort of translucent.
And the stars were more like morphing around it as it was moving.
It
could have been.
It was a predator ship, dude.
It could have been.
It could have been. That's fair.
Because this thing made zero noise, and I'm looking at it, and I look back at my ex at the time, and she looks at me, and we're both.
She saw it too.
That's what I'm saying. We both looked at each other at the same time, like, and we couldn't even get out what we were. We didn't say anything. We just
Can we get her on the show?
I'm going to need her on the show because this
I don't think she would call it.
This legitimizes
sure
your story.
Try to get her on the show.
All right, I will try to get her.
Okay.
You might have to send her a message because she might not respond to me.
I'm in.
Okay. And I swear to God, this thing was slow. And then I ran in the house. I even woke my dad up. He went outside. And by the time everyone was outside, it literally was gone. But this thing, I swear on everything, I saw it. It made no sound. And it was made to be hard to see.
Obviously.
It was
of course.
It's see-through. It's made to be hard to see.
And here's the thing. I'm not even saying it's aliens. It really could have been because we live by a military base.
So, you think it would have been some,
it
new
honestly
tech
could
stuff.
have been like a new tech. So I am being realistic about it. But what I saw, that thing was a cloaked ship like you would see in like Star Trek.
I'm going to need the girlfriend to validate.
We have that technology.
Could it have been a clear beach ball? No?
What's the girlfriend's name?
Yeah, what's her name?
First and last?
Carrie.
And
Carrie
phone number?
Yednak.
Carrie Yadnek.
I can't make that up, see.
Carrie Yadnek. All right,
That's
we're going to Google her.
Name.
Pretty cool.
I like
Hopefully
her.
she's married now to a Johnson or something.
She's married.
Carrie Johnson.
Has a couple kids.
Okay. What, do you stalk her?
No, shit.
No, I just...
Like, you watch her from a safe distance?
No, I
like
just
the
know,
bushes?
I knew her family. And...
just outside the window.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's cool if it's like a passive stalking.
It's whatever.
It's like an online stalking.
No judgments.
No, it's not like Fred's
judgments.
Fred's the guy that like moves into the basement, doesn't tell him, but like under his girlfriend's house and like wears
Just
her clothes.
squatting.
Whatever. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Hey, we all have our thing. No one's here to judge.
Stethoscope to the floor every day. Trying to fucking hear.
Is this a non-judgment show?
This is.
Okay.
Very.
Wait, what are you about to break out?
I was excited about.
I didn't like that you got a disclaimer first.
Episode 1 of Joe's Confessionals.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, here we go.
Oh, jeez. All right, so good. All right, so we have the tournament coming up. Show the checks. We got to go.
Yeah, all right, so we got the checks from Nautical Ventures in, just hot off the press. We have the...
That's a fact.
Excuse me, Fred. We have the $500 Mahi Mahi division. And we... Don't touch me like that. And then we also have... Then we also have the Nautical Ventures, the $2,000 second place trophy, which is...
And you actually just take this right to your bank.
And you can cash it at any bank, right?
It's actually all you do. Don't come to us. You just go right to your big bank.
Right.
Whether
it's like a Wells Fargo or whatever. So, we're super excited. And then we have the $5,000 first place from Railblaza and Turbo USA. So we're stoked. It's going to be a killer weekend. You're going to be on the help boat?
I'll be on the boat.
Okay.
Shooting some videos.
Spencer?
I'm going to be in the office making money to give away to your friends.
Perfect. And then I'll be also on one of the help boats.
Maybe he's young.
Yeah.
So I'll be on the boats as well. And
throwing up, I hear.
Yeah, there was one time
in band camp where I took my flute.
A little too much Adderall. And
all right, I know you got to wrap.
Just like, we got to go.
I got stuff to do.
Yeah. All right. So listen, guys, we love you. We'll see you soon. Leave a comment. Who's older, Spencer or Joe?
No.
Look at the camera.
All right, fine.
Who's older?
We got to do full profile, though.
Right, full profile.
Okay.
Right.
Let's look at this.
And who's taller?
That's easy.
Yeah.
Can we stand up?
No, we can't stand up.
We can't stand up.
Who's taller? All right, guys, got to go. See ya.
Laters.